Fratelli Rugby Podcast. The Italian Rugby Podcast. Fratelli Rugby Podcast. The Italian Rugby Podcast. The Italian Rugby Podcast. The Italian Rugby Podcast.
Ed eccoci, The Italian Rugby Podcast. Benvenuti, welcome everyone in a new episode of Fratelli di Rugby, The Italian Rugby Podcast, live on X and YouTube as usual on Monday night, last Monday of the month, mid-summer, and we have a winner of a series. But before getting into the Lions, we're gonna just talk about the second game, the players and everything. Mike, ciao, come stai? How are you? How is it going?
Yeah, all good, mate, all good. Lions special, on an Italian rugby podcast. Who'd have thought?
Yeah, today the thumbnail is red. It's different. We are not blue. We are deep in blue, of course, when we are on our stream. But the thumbnail today was red because yes, it needed to be red this week. Come on.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. What a comeback,
A little bit like we were expecting a result like that since before the series, before Argentina's game, you think, Mike, or not? This red.
It's tough to say. I genuinely was hoping, as a neutral, that they were going to tie the series, and then it would have been a romantic
popcorn for next weekend, of course.
Right. That's what I was hoping. But listen, credit to the Wallabies first, right? I think it's really important to credit them. They played a different game. Like, it was just a different game. They played, like, how much of a difference did Valentinian players like Skelton come in with their physicality change the game?
Absolutely.
And it was as a neutral, that's what I wanted. The first half was stellar. It was beautiful.
On the other side, the resilience of the Lions in the second half was fantastic. There've been a lot of drama, of course, because if not, it's not a Lions series. We should say almost.
Yeah.
I would just to say that if it was going to be whistle something, we're just looking at mad British and Irish people. Like, as the Aussies, it went in this way. The Aussies are upset. So nothing new on this planet. Someone has
to be disappointed, Otto. Unfortunately, that's the way it is.
In general, congratulations to Verdi, because it's hard. If they put it there for this reason, it's because he's a good ref. Sadly, we don't see him play refereeing us, so it's a little bit different because we missed
for sure. I do think we need to probably clear the air a little bit. Like, you know what? Like, I saw so many people on both sides say how brilliant, things were reffed, except X, right? That's the way it is. Like, genuinely, you see a lot of people who are just upset with Andrea, full stop. But what I saw mostly was, it was really good, except this decision. They didn't agree with one decision or another decision, whatever it might be. Listen, like, if we're going through and scrutinizing one decision or two decisions in the referee's game at that standard, with that intensity, with that stuff going on, he's had a brilliant game. And to be honest with you, even the two contentious decisions, and I think one obviously is Sheehan diving over.
Try, let's say first and last line.
Yeah. So even Sheehan, the way he explained it, he explained the precedent. He said it was in the act of scoring. I actually think he was right in that side. And then obviously the second side, the second one, which a lot of people have an issue with, which was obviously the game-defining one. I thought I want to hear your opinion on this one. Go on, my friend.
On one side, I would like to agree with the idea of coming together. Of course, the impact is not gonna be right in the same moment, but sometimes it's whistle, sometimes it's not. Situation like that, depending by the area. They played, and it is what it is. Maybe because I'm neutral, I feel like more Okay, whatever it's happening, it's okay. Maybe
I
for Italy against France on a draw, one day I could be much more mad. But
yeah,
I will blame not the last defense, but
but
the rest of the second half of the
right,
Wallabies.
yeah.
That's the
I saw
main
someone
problem.
post they were 26-5 up, was that right?
Yes, they
So I
were
saw
in that situation, and
yeah,
then they scored the last points scored by Linag, the 3 points. Arrives at minute 51.
yeah,
Since minute 51, they had 4 entries into the opposite half of the Lions. Actually, 5, not 4, 5. But one worse than the other one about decision. Sometimes was just kick for pressure to build on that. The Gleason pass 5 meters to the hooker after the line out. Bad. Wilson clean out on Gibson Park was the other situation. Didn't help. Then the great tackle by Curry on Suali when there
yeah.
was that chaos situation, scramble defense.
Mate,
There
how good was Sualihi this game as well?
Yeah.
Like we were talking about it last week,
We were
man.
expecting something more from him, and we've
Yeah,
seen him.
yeah,
But in general, what you said at the beginning, I want to go back there, Mike, because yes, you missed Potter really early in the game, and you
yeah,
had to play with McDermott, which okay, he did well on his side. But it's not the same to have a wing and somebody that can manage the 9 in a different way, because McDermott around the tackles is much more dangerous than Gordon, even if Gordon scored a try in a situation like that, but was much more the attack was working, the breakdown was fast, quick ball, easier for a 9 to play. Okay.
yeah, yeah,
But yeah, Skelton and Valentini, they changed it. Tizzano came on really good, fetching
yeah.
a couple of balls, because after the score of Linag, they saved twice in the 22 to great juggle. And they get away with, let's say, with 0 point against the Wallabies, against the Lions. But then, man, 1 versus 1, Keenan blast on who? Ikitau.
Yeah,
He
man,
found this
like
really sevenish style.
mm,
If you see in that way,
yeah,
because of
straight
course,
in.
yeah. So good for Keenan.
Yeah, mate. Like after recovering from sickness or whatever it was, we said he looked a little bit
Six
light. He played
kilos,
really well.
12 pounds. So sounds
That's
more.
mental, isn't it?
Let's say
That's
12 pounds.
yeah, 12 pounds is madness. Like in a week as well.
Yeah.
But
Poor
he looked
bastard.
his old self, and there were some. I was impressed with quite a few of the Aussie players. How, like you said, how they stepped up and
The
let them
score by
know that.
Swali was fantastic, Mike. I mean, the line break from Swali Onaki with the shifted
Yeah,
towards the line. So he get that space, he passed
and
the
he
ball in the
fixes.
right.
Yeah, that
Fantastic.
fix was beautiful as well because he fixed
Big
that
step,
defender with
big step. Boom
with
inside.
like five yards to go, and they were already off balance, and then he cuts it inside. He I know everyone knew he was a good player, but I hadn't seen it. Do you know what I mean? There was some glimpses in the autumn where he did some good things, but I didn't see it. I think
And if you,
last game was the first time I was like, okay, wow, like I see what other people see. Like it's taken me a little bit longer, but I can see what he could be,
and if you think how much he played, like November, he played November, he
Yeah.
played the Super Rugby, he came
That's
from,
it.
I mean, it's mental if you think how good, how the roof is high for him, right?
Yeah.
He can reach the top in there, but sadly
Good
we
in
didn't see him
good with
playing
his feet.
against. We didn't see him playing well again against Tuipulog, because we know the beef between them. It's always fun to see stuff like that. Who else? Your thoughts on Lineup, Mike? Because it was better good cover tackle, but still, I don't see the spark in these two games. They were really hard situation. Hopefully, it's not gonna be his best game against his brother in November.
Yeah,
Hopefully not. But
imagine.
crazy, right?
Yeah,
You think about him, like, is it the style of 10 Australia needs now?
No, that's exactly where I was going as well. He's a very Anglo 10, and you can tell he's a very Anglo 10 in the style that he plays. Whereas actually, if you look at where Australia were their best, right, like they always had maverick 10s, like Quaid at his best, as an example. Like draw parallels between him and Liner at the moment. That said, listen, like the kicks were good. Some were like tough kicks. He managed to get them over. He just needs to develop more. They threw him in at the deep end because they needed to, and he would have taken a lot out of out of these two tests. Like he would have been, he's probably learned so much.
Oh yeah,
but I thought if I'm sure if they had the option, they probably would have like tried to give someone with a little bit more experience in hindsight. But the game wasn't lost because of him. I don't think at all.
Okay, if we look still at the Wallabies before moving and talking about the Lions, we're gonna meet them with a new coach and everything after in November. So, where is Australia now? Before the championship, that is gonna tell us a lot more about this team. But now, where is it in a better situation that was before the series? Even if they lost the series to 0, should we be more worried than a month ago, or in the same way?
I think just purely speaking objectively, the last 2 years of under 20s, they've produced some really good crops. We saw what they did against England in this World Cup championship. The players are starting to come through. Like, future's incredibly bright for Australian rugby, and I know that they're looking at 2027. That's their goal, right? Ironically, probably same sort of goal as us. You know, we did our rebuild maybe a year or two before them, but the objective is the same, right? That's what they're building towards. I don't think we need to be worried. And also, this is a side point, but it's a really important point. We can probably argue whether or not when they went into administration a few years back had a negative effect on Australian rugby. They're expected to make 100 million from this tour. That's more than what England made from the World Cup. So just to put in perspective, that's gonna £100, by the way, not dollars, pounds. So 200 million Australian dollars. That is going to help massively with infrastructure, with getting money back into the game, maybe pulling in some of the star players from the NRL. That is going to help massively. So to answer your question directly, I think they're in a really good spot. I think some of it was because of Schmidt and what he's done. I think some of it's because of the pathways and coming through. And I think a lot of it is because of what's happened this year. So I think I expect to see Australia again in the top sort of 5 teams in the not too distant future, personally.
Okay, interesting. And if we look at Schmidt, what he did, I think he's still positive. What he did,
he managed to play two. I was going to say, managed to play 2 sort of separate styles. Like we saw him playing a lot of 9 in the first game, and they sort of tried to change that slightly. And I don't know if that was forced because, like you said, Gordon was just playing the entire game, and Dermot had to go on the wing. I don't know. I don't know how much is the players and how much is him, but the structures are in place. Frankly, they're playing better than they were when he picked, end of Eddie.
I've seen a lot of the stuff, like style that the Wallabies used to back 2 years ago or 3 years ago with the Rennie.
Yes, I love
the short blind side, open side, blind side, open side, on playing back in those 15 meters, 10 meters sometimes to stretch and then move. That is something that I remember with Rennie, like Yo-Yo was working a lot, and I see more during this game. They need probably They need a to fix the situation in the scrum, Mike, because the Lions exposed them again. You see, when there was an attacking scrum for the Wallabies, they tried to keep the ball in the scrum for 1-2 seconds, all on the channel of the on the 7. Let's say the ball straight there without moving through the number 8, because they
Yeah.
need just to as quick as possible to move out, which is something similar to us, what we try to do against the South Africa
How
team.
I was gonna say, how old is Alatoa now? Like he's getting on, no?
He's getting old and he's also injured. It seems like probably he's gonna miss also the rugby championship. Mike.
No
So
luck.
that is a thing.
Tupou back in, do you think? What do you think he's done out of interest? Because like he's an interesting player, no?
Against the Lions, he get away too many penalties when he
Yeah.
played for the other team, First Nation Pacifica. I think that is.
So do you think that was enough?
A player that you need to bring from the one they are out, of course, is Charlie Gamble, probably the best Wallabies in the 2 games that he played without being a Wallaby.
Yeah.
Against the Lions, he was one of the best player. I'm wondering how much they're gonna use Josh Flock. Flock. If we think about the Baritonians for the until October, I'm wondering what is gonna happen with them, with this player, if he's gonna be called for the championship in some way. Who knows? Because he was already in the team now. Let's say in the squad for last weekend. But I don't know, because I think they're on a good spot, but let's go into the speculation again. Like when we were couple of months ago, we were talking about the Tyndall opportunity of that raising new league, and I'm wondering how many players 2026 are gonna move there at the end of next. So how many of these players will be part of the project with less keys for Australia 2027? Maybe they're safe because they're gonna play in homeland in Oz, and it's different, but still.
That's the allure, isn't it?
A lot of rumors there, right?
It's weird, right? Because I think that could be enough, right? Like a lot of these players, whether they play league, whether they played union growing up, a lot of them probably started in union. League are just better at attracting young union talent, which is ironic because it's the opposite in most places. But so what they ended up doing is they can just say, listen, like I bet you dreamt to play in a World Cup. Let's be honest, most people who grew up playing union, their dream is to play and represent their country in a World Cup. It's the same way Tiziano probably would have joined us if we were having the World Cup in Italy in the same time. If we're going to be true speculation, right? His dream was to play for the Wallabies or Italy. Wallabies, obviously, World Cup, great opportunity for him. Cool. He wants to represent them. But yeah, I agree with what you're saying. We need to see the next step from them. But I think now they have slowly getting the stuff in place, and they have obviously that, which makes a massive difference. It makes a world of difference. Like that, the money that they got, I think it's the most out of any British and Irish Lions tour ever. The fact that it blew the 2015 Rugby World Cup, I think England made 89 million, and they're expecting 100 million from this profit. bearing in mind we have like operating costs of like 20 million a year, just to bring it into perspective. It's silly, right? Isn't it? It's silly.
It's wild if we think about that, but
yeah,
let's move on the team that we're gonna see playing another time, and then they're gonna close everything for other 4 years.
Yeah,
Mike, looking at these 2 games,
yeah,
the best lion in the pitch. Who was the best lion in the pitch?
I know I'm going to get a lot of shit from this because I know not many people agree. I thought Tyg Burn was brilliant again today. Like, this weekend.
No, Tyg Burn. Okay,
Tyg Burn. Yeah. I know a lot of people are going to say, other people. I just thought Tyg Burn was great. I thought he did the dog work. I actually thought he was more impressive than some of the other backs as well, which, you know, I know Curry had a really good game, and, you know, you could say Gibson Park again. He's another one but I thought Burn was great. For me, unsung hero Burn. Anyway.
No, absolutely. I think for me it was like all the eyes were on him because he was on the edge. He scored a try. He was there in the last phases of attack when then they scored with Keenan. He got a really nice, lovely line break in the middle. So, and last week same stuff, same.
Also, like
so
that, like he was also like messing up a lot of rucks, wasn't he? He was like slowing shit down. He was just being a nuisance.
So for me, more than unsung, he was probably the player. One of the unsung because he was there again after 4 years. He was there again, and I didn't see coming in that way. Was for me Conan. For me, Conan was the player. Like,
Steps up, doesn't he?
Man, Banner on the bench, Banner's out, Pollock out, Jack Conan in, and he was the best tackler this weekend too.
I didn't know that. That's impressive.
I think something like that. I didn't check the stats.
Who got man of the match in the end? I didn't actually watch it. I didn't see it.
But for me, the way cover around, like only dirty work this last weekend. Probably Conan was more unsung hero, respect the other one.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on the captain, on Maritoje, Mike?
Yeah, I have sort of a mixed feeling of Itoje. Like beyond this game, I think I've said it in the past. Like I think he in the past struggles to net positive. Like he'll do 3 or 4 beautiful engagements or win a penalty, and then he might give away 2 or 3 penalties. And but listen, he captained them to a win, right? And there was something there. And this is the question, I'd love to be a fly on the wall, and this is speculation. I'm not questioning Itoje's captaincy at all. I wonder how much of at halftime that was him, or at halftime that was young Farrell.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like who spoke. I want to know who spoke at halftime, and if someone can tell me who spoke. In fact, maybe they're going to have it in that little sort of YouTube documentary that they're doing. I want to watch that because that's going to be important for me. I want to see who got them there, because that's going to show the leadership.
Some of the footage probably they show something about that, but they don't gonna show maybe the speech. They're gonna be. It's interesting because both teams they had in a different setup. Somebody much more free, some other one in a circle with plastic chairs. So it's interesting on that. But this Lions team was really good in many areas. Probably if I have to find a place where they struggle a bit, was all that aerial game. Not the best aerial game from Lowe and even Keenan, if I have to say. If I have to find something bad, and when they lost badly the first half against the Wallabies, so they were able to reach them up, but probably that was the only something. If you want to fix something for next weekend, if you want to go 3-0, because probably that is the goal for Farrell and friends, Farrell and the Cubs. We're gonna start Pollock next weekend, Mike.
Well, this is what I was going to ask you, Otto. Like, if you're Andy Farrell now, you've won the league, won the series, won the league. What would you do? Would you let a load of the people who were like good but you weren't sure about play, rest a load of players, or do you go for the jugular and you want like a 3-0, don't change too much, win?
I think probably is gonna change a couple of phases. Still, maybe some of the starting from the last weekend probably gonna be on the bench to have the quality that the players that but probably wants to break records. So it's been more than 100 years since they won 3-0 against Australia. They want to do that. Right. There are numbers data to breaks for the Lions, and you can be in the history of the Lions because whatever happened, The next one is gonna wait 12 years and then 24 to win again 3-0 against Australia. If you want to put
Yeah,
it
that's a
in
really
that
good point.
perspective.
Yeah.
So
that's
you
really
can
good.
mark your name. You can mark your name in the British and Irish Lions history, which is wild.
Yeah, that's a really good point, actually. And actually, that's probably a point that's not been spoken about. So you heard it here first, guys. Otto is Oracle Otto this weekend, and he reckons the 3-0. Do you think a big thumping victory, or do you think a tight, squeezed out game?
No, another really tight game, I think, because there's gonna be a lot of pride from the Wallabies against the Lions too. I'm wondering how they're gonna remanage who's gonna be starting. There are a couple of changes. McDermott deserve a starting nine for at least
Agreed.
one. We were calling him already last week, and I think still we need to see him there. Tiziano should start in some way.
Yeah.
Tiziano
Yeah, no, he does. He's such a good impact off the bench. He does again. He's played himself at the start.
He found another really busy back row in Australia anyway. Yeah, because he's not starting now because there is Valentini. Wilson is back, let's say, in the Wallabies team. Before I missed a lot of time. Gleason back from injury is there. McRae. So
and then the French guy. I want to see if you can say his name. Do you remember his name? I don't remember his name. French guy.
He's not gonna be called Mabasiga, something like that. The Charente player. You're talking about the Australian
No.
player, Mabasiga. Opitsan.
No. He's got like a really French name. He played. I think he started last the first test.
Champion de Crespigny.
That's it. You knew his name. The guy.
Nick Champignon. Nick de Crespigny. No, I don't think he. Well, let's see, but it's not that good. So it's not.
No,
that
he had a
good,
bad game
better
last
than.
week.
Yeah, no, congratulations to them, but Mike, I think that's everything because short, boom, the series is won. The series is won by the British and Irish Lions. Nothing else to say. Congratulations to them. Was really nice to see the circle in the field, singing, drinking beers at the end before getting shit faced completely with Boom Deaki and all the friends.
Mate, I do not want to be. I wouldn't want to be like cleaning their toilets, like spill some drink for like the hotel staff the following day. Jesus, but yeah, that looked like they enjoyed themselves. And Otto, I think it's worth to say that we do have a mystery guest coming up that we probably want to talk about for next week, right?
Next week is gonna be up, so next week we are not gonna be live, but still we're gonna be out. And this is how it's gonna work, and then it's gonna be time to start the new season of the podcast. Let's say because we're almost there with the new rugby season starting soon, and of course we're gonna keep an eye on the rugby championship. It's gonna have a lot of Argent-Italians into it, and let's see if fucking Fratelli is gonna play one game or not. It's crazy.
Hopefully he has a little turn of
events. He's gonna say something so wild that he's not gonna be allowed in Argentina anymore. Oops. Neither in France. He's gonna come back.
Yeah, it's fine. It's close enough for him.
The lion is a nonsense. No, it makes a lot of sense because there is a lot of passion by the players and everything. Then history. Then but is how we say colonialism. I don't think Bumdeaki cares about colonialism, Skurman, Itoje, and all. They play for the red jersey because represent a lot of champions of the past. Probably that is the big thing. If you wear a jersey like that, Neil Beck, Martin Johnson, Brian.
Also, and stuff one last point I want to make. Like it drew 35,000 traveling supporters last week.
Wild.
That's mental, mate. 35,000 across the other side of the world.
answer really short from you, Mike. Do you think they should go to France to play for a series and Argentina, or should be a special Lions for celebration of X years of Lions?
I think Argentina probably like again. Maybe this is my business head, but I think actually the team that would benefit the most out of a Lions tour, assuming that they can like fill up a stadium and stuff, is Argentina. I think they'll do really, really well. So for me, I would love to see a tour in Argentina. I don't think it's going to happen, and I don't think it's a good idea with France because what do we learn there? We learn that the top 14. We already know the top 14 are better than most international teams anyway, and they don't need the money. They're already a well-established, growing, rugby country. And the reason these tours were sort of so well sought after is because of the economic and sort of rugby benefit to the country. And if we're looking at a country that's done really well with limited amount of resource and is trying to grow the game further, Argentina just fits that perfectly for me. But anyway, that's my opinion.
Then Uruguay, Argentina 15. Maybe
mate. Imagine, like, just play Peru or Uruguay or Brazil, and like just it's there, mate. It's there.
Well, thank you, everyone. Ciao, ragazzi. Buonanotte. Have a good night. Have a good day if you're listening up tomorrow. Mike, stammi bene. Take care. And keep listening, watching, subscribe to Fratelli di Rugby Podcast. Ciao a tutti.
Let's go.